Hello, welcome to JQuery tutorial, chapter 25, JQuery Animate function, part 1, brought to you by Ankpro Technologies. My name is Harish. In this session, we are going to learn about how to animate the HTML elements on the web page with the help of Animate function in JQuery. So, using the JQuery Animate function, what we can do is we can animate the CSS properties. So you can observe the below code present here. Okay, what it does is it animates the div element while changing the width property of the div element from its initial size to 400 pixels over a period of 4000 milliseconds. So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to identify an element with this ID, then we are attaching an animate function. What this animate function is going to do is it's going to increase the width of the element by 400 pixels within a span of 4 seconds. This is 4000 milliseconds. Okay, this is what the syntax present here to the animate function. It takes 4 parameters. The first one is properties, that is CSS properties, and the duration, like within how much span the animation should happen, and third parameter is easing and complete. As of now in this session we are going to concentrate only on the first 2 parameters. The rest 2 we are learning in the next session, that is part 2 of animation. Okay, and also keep in mind animation function, as I said, it has 4 parameters and only the first parameter is required. The rest 3 are optional. In the sense, to the animate function, the first parameter properties are compulsory, you have to give them. Okay, the rest 3 are optional. Okay, and right now, without wasting much time, let me execute this piece of code what is present here in my Visual Studio Code, and let me show you the output how animate function help us in doing the animation to the HTML elements. So let me jump into Visual Studio, and here is my web template. Okay, and now what I'll do is first let me create a div element. So here comes my div element. To that div element, let me add ID, telling like it's my div, the ID is my div. So let me write some styles to that div element with the help of style tag. So how do I represent the ID? By hash. So let me call the ID name. So here I'm going to tell like the background color of the div element should be of green. Okay, fine. Then let me set the width of that div element. The initial width I'm going to set it as 200 pixel, and let me set the height also. Let the height be 200 pixel again. Okay, now what I'll do is let me add a content inside that div telling like hello world. So let me take the text align to center. Okay, now let me push this page to the browser. Let me see how it renders there. After that, I'm going to attach animate function to that div element. So my browser has been opened and here comes the div. Okay, it looks pretty well. It's a div with height of 200 pixel and width of 200 pixel and a text align center. Let me add a border such that it looks very good. So let me add a border of 2 pixel solid, or let me take dashed blue, or let me go with the black. Let me do Ctrl S. Let me go back and let me refresh. Here you can observe we are having a border dashed of 2 pixel, or yes, it's 2 pixel dashed black. Okay, now my objective is, now what I'll do is I'll take a button here. Okay, to that button let me add a text like start animation. Okay, now let me go here and let me refresh. You can observe we have a button. Let me push it down. And you can observe we have a button here. Now as soon as I click on the button, the animation should happen. What is the animation we are going to do right now is, as soon as I click on this button, the width of this div should increase to 500 pixel, and that animation should happen within a span of 5000 milliseconds. So how do I do that? It's very simple. First I need to identify this button, so I'll attach an ID to this telling like my button. Okay, now let me write now let me start writing jQuery. So let me call a script tag. So here first I need to verify whether my DOM is loaded. So I'll make use of document and the function I'm going to ready. Okay, now I've checked like whether my DOM is ready. Once it is ready, first what I need to do is I need to identify this button. To this button I'm going to attach the click event. So on the click event, the animation should happen to the div. So how do I identify the button? With the help of the ID. The ID is my button. Okay, this is what button. Once I identify that button, I need to identify a click event to that. On click, what should happen? I'm going to define an anonymous function within that click function such that it's going to execute that. So here I need to tell like, okay, identify a div element with the ID. The ID is my div, and to that div element I need to call the animate function. What is the animation? It should happen. The first parameter is going to take is properties, that is CSS properties. So what I need to do is I need to tell like increase the width of an element, okay, the width of an element by 500 pixel. So the initial width is 200, and right now on the animation it should increase the width to 500 pixel, and after that the second parameter is going to take is the time, the span. Okay, this animation should happen within a span of 5000 milliseconds. Okay, now let me end up with a semicolon. Okay, and let me go back here and let me check whether what we are given is correct or not. Here we have increased to 400 and the time is 4000 milliseconds, but in my code I've taken it's 500 pixel and 5000 milliseconds. Now when I do Ctrl S, let me go back and let me refresh the page. Now you can observe very clearly, now when I click on this button, the animation, okay, what animation function will be called, and what will happen is this div will increase the size up width to 500 pixel within a span of 5000 milliseconds. So let me click on this. You can observe, okay, the width of the div, okay, it's increased to 500 pixel within a span of 5000 milliseconds. So now let me remove this. As I said you, only the first parameter is compulsory, we have to give it, the rest three are optional. So the second parameter right now I'm removing it. I'll go back and I'll refresh it. Okay, now when I click on the button, you can observe the animation will happen very soon. Okay, keep in mind the default animation, okay, animation time is 400 milliseconds. Okay, the default animation time is 400 milliseconds, but what we are doing is we can set it manually, like the animation should happen within 5000 milliseconds, that is 5 seconds. So let me go back and let me refresh. Now you can observe here the animation is very slow, it's happening within a span of 5000 milliseconds. This is how you can achieve animation with the help of this animate function. Okay, and to that first parameter you should pass the CSS properties, and the second parameter is the duration, and third parameter is easy and complete, and these two are very important. We are going to learn in the next session. Okay, as of now we learned like how to animate an HTML element with the help of animate function. Okay, and finally, thank you for listening. Have a great day. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel Ankpro Training. You can also like our Facebook page visiting this URL. You can also follow us on Twitter. For further reference, refer websites. We are on LinkedIn too. Last but not the least, please don't forget to give the feedback. Thank you. Have a great day.